Morning everyone. Morning, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Hope you're all fit and well and ready to do some yoga. So today we'll be doing about a 20-minute practice focusing on dolphin pose. So it might get a bit strong on the shoulders, so anyone working with any shoulder issues this morning, please be careful. Practice with care, listen to your body, and if something doesn't feel right, modify if you know how, or just leave that bit out, it's fine. Okay, should we do some yoga? Okay, we're going to start in an all fours position. So just getting the alignment right here. Take your knees underneath your hips. Take your wrists underneath your shoulders. And really spread your fingers out. So you want to get as much space between your little finger and your thumb as possible. Really ground your hands into the mat. It's almost like you've got claw fingers, so pushing your fingertips into the mat. Lock out the elbows. And nice long neck. So you're pulling your shoulders away from your ears. Stretching from the crown of your head all the way to your tailbone. And resting on the tops of your feet. So we just start with a little bit of breath awareness. Maybe close your eyes for this bit. So in yoga we generally breathe in and out through the nose. Just close your eyes and take your focus to your breath. Following your breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Moving into cat pose now. We're going to tilt the tailbone, so you're tucking your tailbone under and pulling your belly button in towards your spine. Tuck your chin towards your chest and feel that lovely separation in the shoulder blades. Still really push into the mat with your hands. Enjoy the stretch. We're pausing here for a couple of breaths. Remember to pull up on the pelvic floor, draw that navel in towards the spine. And then taking the opposite stretch in cow pose. So you're sending your sitting bones up towards the ceiling, sending your chest and your gaze forwards. Pausing here. Keep the elbows locked, keep pushing the hands into the mat. And now we're going to connect these two poses with our breath. So we're going to take a breath here in cow pose. And then as we breathe out, push into cat stretch. Really dome the back as much as you can. We're going to take this 3 more times. Breathing in cow pose. And breathing out cat stretch. Exaggerate that movement on your spine and your shoulder blades as much as you can. Feeling that connection between your movement and your breath. Okay, just taking one more cat, one more cow. And then coming into a neutral position. So you're coming back to this tabletop position. Keep these internal locks applied. So still pulling up on pelvic floor, still drawing the belly button towards the spine. We're coming into sunbird pose. So we're going to take the right leg back. If you push into the ball of the foot, suck your thigh muscle up to your thigh bone. So you're pulling up on the kneecap. And then reach forward with your left hand. Gazing towards your thumb, the internal locks applied. Let's raise that right leg. We're going to pause here for 3 breaths. For 2, for 1, let's switch sides. Left leg comes back. Push into the ball of the foot, engage the muscles that of your leg. Reach forwards with the right hand, gaze thumb. Let's raise the left leg, coming into your balance. For 3, for 2, for 1, and release that back to your tabletop position. Come into our first child's pose of the class. So if you just bring your big toes together to touch and take your knees a little bit wider than your hips. Sit your bottom back towards your heels and then stretch the hands forward, relaxing your head to the mat. Take your focus back to your breath. And while you're just resting in child's pose, I'm going to come see who's online. Hi Louise, hi Jilly. Hi Mum. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Okay, so we're going to come back up now, back to this all fours position. Set your tabletop pose. We're coming into our first downward facing dog of the class. So turning the toes here, we're going to lift the bottom. So take in the bottom up and back. It's soft knees, so really push into the mat with your hands to get your chest as close as you can to your thighs. We're going to walk our dog. One leg straightens, the other leg bends as we pedal the heels up and down. Sway the hips from side to side. Enjoy the stretch. Your neck is soft. Keeping the focus with your breath. Let's hold our downward facing dog now. So soft knees, push into the mat even more so you can get that chest closer to your thighs. And then start to sink your heels down towards the mat. Remember to keep the neck soft, keep the shoulders away from the ears. Your legs don't have to be straight in this pose. You can keep the knees soft if you prefer. And we're pausing here for 3 breaths, for 2, for 1. We're coming into dangling pose now. So walk your hands and your feet closer together. And take hold of the elbows. So just letting the weight of your head carry you forward. Upper body nice and relaxed. If it feels good, you can sway from side to side. Knees are soft. Focus with your breath. Roll up to standing. So tuck your chin in towards the chest. We're going to keep holding on to the elbows for this. So rolling up, nice and slowly. When you get to the top, we're taking the arms back. Feel that nice lift in the chest. Take the gaze upwards and then reach your fingertips towards the ceiling. So nice and long. Left hand takes hold of right wrist. We're going to pull up even more and then pull over to the left side. So you're going to push out with your right hip, push into your right foot and pull back with your right shoulder. Gaze ceiling. Pause here. See if you can pull over a little bit more. Enjoy the side stretch. And let's come back to centre. Take that opposite side. Right hand, left wrist, pull up. And then pull across. Pull back with that left shoulder, push out with your left hip. For 3, for 2, for 1, come into the centre, take hold of the elbows, we're coming back down, back to our dangling pose. Chin in towards the chest and let the weight of your head carry you forwards. We're pausing in dangling pose again. This time see if you can get your legs a little bit straighter. So push the backs of your knees away. See if you can get your forearms even closer to the mat. Really nice stretch for the hamstrings, perhaps all the way into the glutes. And release. We're coming back down to our all fours position, back to our tabletop. A little bit more work for the shoulders now. So we're coming into what we call thread the needle. I think I'll start with my left hand first so you can see what I'm doing here. So on your next in-breath, you're going to reach up towards the ceiling with your left hand. Really push into the right hand so you can reach up even further with the left.
And then we're going to thread it underneath. So thread that underneath your right, resting on your left ear, and then stretch back with your right leg, a bit like when we were coming into sunbird pose. So leg muscles are engaged, core's engaged. You have the option to keep it here or option to take a balance. For 3, for 2, for 1. Let's release that raised leg if you took that option. Unthread your left hand, send it back up towards the ceiling to release. And let's switch sides. Come back to the centre. Next, in breath, sweeping up with your right hand, really reaching up high. And then thread that through. Resting on your right ear, your right shoulder. Stretch back with your left leg, so push into the ball of the foot, engage the muscles of that leg, engage the core. Option to keep it here or option to take the balance. Keep it strong. For 2, for 1, and release that knee back down. Send the right hand back up towards the ceiling, stretch out. Release the hand down back to your tabletop position. Let's take another downward facing dog. Turn your toes, lift the bottom up, push it back. Soft knees as you push your chest closer towards your thighs. And then start to sink the heels down towards the mat. Neck is soft. Take your focus back to your breath and pause here. Pause in your downward facing dog. Well, I see who else has come online. Hi Rosie, hi gents. Hope you're joining in and not just watching. Okay, and release your downward facing dog. So back to your all fours position. We're coming into heart center pose now. So maybe just take the bottom back a little bit further back from the knees. I'm going to stretch the hands forwards and come to rest on your forehead. Let your chest sink down towards the mat. You should feel a really nice stretch on the shoulders. If you're not feeling it, perhaps take the bottom back a little bit more, almost like extended child's pose. If you want more, rest on your chin. Relax into the pose. The hands are about mat distance for this pose. 2 more breaths here. And then we're coming down onto our tummy. Nice gentle back bend now. We're going to take Sphinx pose. So elbows perhaps a little bit wider than your shoulders. Resting on your forearms, so hand lock just as we had earlier on in our cat pose. Really spreading the fingers, pushing your fingertips into the mat. And then push the mat away with your forearms so you've got this nice lift in the chest. Gaze is forwards. Neck is long, shoulders released away from the ears. Take your focus to your breath. And pausing here for 3 more breaths. For 2, for 1, and release. Take a full body stretch if you need to, just to stretch out the back, the shoulders. We're coming into another back bend, a little bit deeper this time. So you're taking the hands behind and interlacing the fingers. Locust pose. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and draw your hands down towards your feet. So you're feeling this lift in the chest. Gaze is forward. You can keep the tops of your feet in contact with the mat, or you can lift. Lift as much of your body as you can. For 3, for 2, for 1, and release. Let's push back into a nice child's pose. Sweep your hands along your sides, rest your forehead on the mat. Or if you prefer, you can make fists with your hands and rest your head on your fists instead. Just regain control of your breath. Notice what your body's doing, how your body's feeling. let's come back to our tabletop position. So setting your knees underneath your hips again, your wrists underneath your shoulders. This time we're going to come down to our forearms. So you're going to take your elbows underneath your shoulders now, keeping that hand lock, and push into the mat. You're really lifting your chest away from the mat. Gaze is in between your thumbs. We're going to stretch back with our right leg. So toes are pointed this time. Just connect to your breath. We're going to do leg raises with breath, 4 on each side. So next time you breathe in, float that right leg up. And as you breathe out, release. Should we take that 3 more times? On an in-breath, float that leg up. And an out-breath, release. Number 3. Keep pushing into the mat with your hands. Keep that chest lifted. And last one, up right side. Breathing in to lift. And breathing out to lower. Return your knee underneath your hip. Let's take that left side. Stretch back, left leg. And on an in-breath, float it up. And on an out-breath, release. Number 2. And number 3. So you can get it a little bit higher. And release. And last one, left side. And release. Keep the arms as they are. So it might be getting a bit tough on the shoulders now. Really pushing into the mat with your forearms. Step your knees back from your hips. We're coming into another variation of heart center pose. So just take the bottom back slightly, but keep pushing into the mat with the elbows. And then release your forehead to the mat. So it might reach, it might not, it doesn't matter. But keep this engagement with your shoulder muscles, so keep it strong. Chest is relaxed. Focus with your breath. So from our variation of heart center pose, we're coming into Sphinx again. Sending the chest forwards and coming back to lay on your tummy. So you might need to just shuffle the arms out a little bit. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, so neck is long, gaze is forwards. You're going to rest on the balls of your feet. So pushing the balls of the feet into the mat and push the heels away. So you'll probably feel your knees come up off the mat. Engage the muscles of your legs. Pull up pelvic floor, draw your belly button towards the spine. You have the option to keep it here or option to come into Sphinx plank, where you take a lift. Whichever version you're doing, I'm going to pause for 3 breaths. For 2, for 1, and release that down. Take a full body stretch if you need to. And then when you're ready, make your way to seated. I think we ought to just do a few shoulder releases before we move on. So take your hands to the tops of your shoulders and just take some nice circles backwards and forwards. And then sweep the hands behind, interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest, lift the arms. And then reach the arms forward, again interlacing the fingers, but this time get that lovely separation in the shoulder blades. Chin to chest. And we're coming back to all fours. We're coming into downward facing dog again. So set this tabletop position, knees underneath hips, wrists underneath the shoulders, hand lock applied. Turning the toes and lifting. We soften the knees to push into the mat, chest close to the thighs, and then sink the heels down towards the mat. Three-legged dog. On your next in-breath, you're sweeping the right leg high. Come onto the ball of the left foot. Push your chest close to that left thigh so you can reach up even more with your right leg. And then start to sink that left heel down towards the mat. Keep the elbows locked, keep the arms strong. For 3, for 2, for 1, let's swap sides. Release that right leg. Maybe just walk it out in the middle, loosen it up a bit. Softening of the knees, chest close to the thighs. Let's take that left side. Breathe in, sweep the left leg high. Come onto the ball of the right foot so you can really reach up high with that left leg. And then keeping the left leg where it is, sink the right heel back down. Chest to thigh. For 3, for 2, for 1, and release. Come back down to your tabletop position. Okay, we're going to come to our forearms again. So lower your elbows underneath your shoulders. Apply your hand lock. And take your gaze between your thumbs. So we're preparing for our dolphin pose now. We're taking knee lifts with breath. Turn your toes. On your next in-breath, you're lifting up. Keep the gaze forwards. And on your next out-breath, with control lowering. Should we take that 2 more times? Breathing in to lift. Breathing out to lower. Number 3, breathing in to lift. You have the option to keep it here or option to keep working with your breath. If you're holding it here, we're going to walk it out like we did earlier on with downward facing dog. So pedaling the heels up and down. One leg straightens, the other leg bends. For 2 more breaths. And release. Take a child's pose to release the shoulders. So arms by the side, resting on your forehead. Take the opportunity to reconnect to your breath. And while you're just pausing in child's pose, I see who's joined us. Hi Nicola, hi Kelly, hi Charlotte. Hope you're all okay. Okay, we're going to come up and hold dolphin pose this time. Let's come back to our tabletop position. Lower onto your forearms. Spread the fingers, push these fingertips into the mat and really lift the chest away from the mat so you're strong in the shoulders. Turn the toes, lift the bottom. Keep the gaze forward, keep the neck long. Is there room to move your feet a little bit closer towards your elbows? Pausing here for 3, for 2, for 1, and release. Maybe take some shoulder rotations, maybe stretch. Just release the arms, we're coming up one more time. Okay, make it a good one. Last one. Tabletop position. Lower to your forearms. Apply your hand lock, push the chest away from the mat. Turn the toes, we're lifting. We're stepping the feet in closer towards the arms. You have the option to keep it here to hold your dolphin pose or option to take a leg raise. If you're joining me in the leg raise, on an in-breath, you're sweeping right leg high. And pausing for 3, 2, 1. Let's switch sides. Left leg goes high. For 3, for 2, for 1, and release. Lower the knees. Take a well-earned child's pose. Take your focus back to your breath. And allow a slowing down of the breath. Whew. Hope you're all okay. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you enjoyed that little taster session and practicing dolphin pose with me. So I'll possibly be teaching some full-length yoga classes on Zoom soon, so please look out for details of them on my Facebook page. Big shout out to Brad and Amy on Par, also Maz at Mac Fitness and Donna at Hot Pod for their wonderful online classes, for keeping me fit and active throughout this period of isolation. So bye bye everyone, see you all again soon. Have a lovely day, bye.